Your father worked for 47 years. He never missed a shift. He drove the same car for 11 years because he believed in saving money. He took one vacation in the last decade. He made his own lunch every single day. He did everything right. And when you sit down with the nursing home administrator on a Tuesday afternoon in March, the woman with the laminated badge and the practiced smile, she slides a sheet of paper across the desk and tells you the monthly rate. $11,200 per month. You look at the number, then you look at her. She does not blink. This is not a negotiation. This is just the price. Your father has $200,000 saved. It took him 47 years to save it. The Honest Frog needs you to do that math right now. At $11,200 a month, your father's life savings will be completely gone in 17 months. Not because he gambled it, not because he made bad investments, not because he failed, because he got old. And here's the part that nobody tells you in that Tuesday meeting. The part the administrator with the laminated badge will not mention. Once that $200,000 is gone, once your father has spent every single dollar he saved in 47 years, only then will the government step in to help. That's not an accident. That's the policy. And it was designed exactly this way.
You go home that night and open your laptop. You need to understand this. You type how to pay for nursing home cost. The first result says Medicaid. You've heard of Medicaid. It's the government healthcare program. It covers nursing home costs for people who can't afford it. Your father can't afford $11,200 a month. So you click. And then you read something that doesn't make sense the first time. So you read it again, and a third time, and it still doesn't make sense. To qualify for Medicaid nursing home coverage, your father must first have less than $2,000 in assets. $2,000. He has $200,000, which means before the government helps with a single dollar, your father must spend $198,000 of his own money first. Every last dollar.
The Honest Frog wants to be very precise here. This is not a rumor. This is not a political opinion. This is federal policy as it exists today in 2026 in the United States of America. The system your father paid into his entire working life, through taxes, through Medicare contributions, through decades of being a productive citizen, that system will not help him until he is, by legal definition, completely broke. You keep reading, and then you find the part that is somehow even worse. It's called the 5-year look-back period. Here's what it means. If your father, at any point in the last 5 years, gave money to anyone, the government counts it. Gave $500 to your sister for her birthday? Count it. Helped pay for a grandchild's school supplies? Count it. Transferred the house to your name to protect it? Count it. Every dollar that left his accounts in the last 5 years is treated as an attempt to hide assets from Medicaid profits. And for every gift, every birthday check, every act of generosity, the government adds a penalty period during which your father receives no help at all.
Even if the money is long gone, even if it was spent on something completely ordinary, even if he had no idea this rule existed, the frog needs you to sit with that for a moment. Your father is penalized for being generous. You call your sister. You explain what you found. There is a long silence on the phone. Then she says, "But he gave us each $3,000 last Christmas." You don't respond immediately because you are already doing the math. Christmas was 14 months ago. The look-back period is 5 years. That $6,000 in Christmas gifts split between you and your sister is now a liability, a penalty, a delay in the help your father desperately needs. He gave his children Christmas gifts, and the government is going to make him pay for it? The nursing home bill arrives on the first of the month, $11,200. It does not care about any of this. It does not care about the look-back period. It does not care about Christmas. It just arrives every month like clockwork. The balance? $188,800. 16 months remaining. The frog is not going to say anything right now. The frog is just going to let that number sit there.
3 weeks after the Medicaid approval letter arrives, your cousin calls. You haven't spoken in almost 2 years. He heard about your father through the family grapevine. He asks how everything went. You tell him. The 17 months, the $200,000, the 47-page form. There was a pause on the line. Then he says something that will stay with you for a long time. He says, "Why didn't your father set up a trust?"
You don't know what to say. So he explains. 5 years ago, had your father transferred his assets into an irrevocable trust, the Medicaid look-back period would have started then. By the time he needed the nursing home, 5 years would have already passed. The trust assets would have been protected. The $200,000 would still exist. Your father would have qualified for Medicaid on day one, without spending a single dollar. You ask your cousin how he knows this. He says his father-in-law did it 8 years ago. A $340,000 house. A $180,000 retirement account. Protected. All of it. Because someone told them. 5 years ago. Someone simply told them. Let's be very specific about what those rules allow. An irrevocable trust, set up correctly 5 years before needing care, protects everything inside it from Medicaid spend-down requirements. A Medicaid-compliant annuity can convert countable assets into an income stream that Medicaid doesn't count. A married couple in 2026 can protect up to $162,660 in joint assets, plus the family home automatically. These are not loopholes. These are not illegal. These are not secrets. They are simply tools. Tools that require knowing they exist. Tools that require time, 5 years of time, to implement properly. Tools that cost money to set up. Which means the people most likely to need them are the least likely to have access to them. The honest frog finds this quietly, spectacularly enraging. Not loudly, just quietly. In the way that things enrage you when you realize they were designed this way on purpose.
You ask your cousin one more question. You ask, does everyone know about this? He thinks for a moment. Then he says, everyone who can afford a good attorney does. You hang up the phone. You sit in your kitchen. The same kitchen where you filled out the 47-page form over 3 evenings. The same kitchen where you did the math 3 different ways on a yellow legal pad and got the same answer every time. You think about your father. 47 years of brown bag lunches. 1 vacation per decade. The same car for 11 years. He did everything right. He just didn't know the right things. And nobody whose job it was to tell him ever did. Not his bank, not his accountant, not his employer, not the government that built the system he was paying into. Nobody. The honest frog has one thing to say about that. Just one. The system is not broken. It is working exactly as designed. For some people,
Your father is still in the nursing home, room 14B. He has a window that faces a small garden. He seems to like the garden. Some days he asks about the money. You tell him everything is fine, which is true now, in the way that things are fine after the worst has already happened. You don't tell him about the trust. You don't tell him about the cousin who called. You don't tell him that $200,000, 47 years of brown bag lunches and 11-year-old cars, and one vacation per decade could have been protected with a single conversation 5 years ago. Some things you just carry.
But here is what you do. 3 weeks after that phone call with your cousin, you called Gerald again. Not about your father, about yourself. You are 44 years old. You have $67,000 in savings, a house worth $280,000, a retirement account you haven't thought about carefully enough. And now, for the first time in your life, you are thinking about all of it very carefully because you just watched what happens when you don't. Gerald picks up on the second ring. He has that same calm voice. He explains 5 things. The Honest Frog is going to share all 5. Not because this is a financial advice channel. It isn't. But because your father didn't know these 5 things. And maybe you don't either. And someone should have said them out loud a long time ago.
1. If you're over 50, start the conversation about long-term care now. Not when you need it. Not when your children need you to need it. Now. The 5-year look-back clock only starts when you act. Every year you wait is a year you can't get back. 2. An irrevocable trust is not just for wealthy people. It is for anyone who has anything worth protecting. A $180,000 retirement account, a $280,000 house, even $67,000 in savings. All of it can disappear in a nursing home in under 2 years. All of it can be protected with the right structure, set up early enough. 3. Not all financial advisors know about Medicaid planning. Most don't. You need an elder law attorney specifically, not a general attorney, not a financial advisor, an elder law attorney. The distinction matters more than almost anything else on this list. 4. Long-term care insurance exists. It is not cheap. Bought in your late 40s or early 50s, it is significantly less expensive than bought later. A few $100s a month now could cover $10,000 a month in costs later. Most people never buy it because they never think they'll need it. 70% of Americans over 65 will need long-term care at some point. 70%. The Honest Frog will let that percentage sit with you for a moment.
5. Talk to your parents. This week. Not about death, not about illness, about paperwork. Do they have a will, a power of attorney, a health care directive? Do they know what a Medicaid look-back period is? Do they know what an irrevocable trust is? Do they know that Christmas gifts can become Medicaid penalties? Have this conversation. Over dinner, over the phone, over whatever works. Because the alternative is a Tuesday afternoon in March with a woman in a laminated badge sliding a piece of paper across a desk. And a number that doesn't blink. Your father still has his window. He still watches the garden. Some mornings he seems almost content. He worked 47 years and saved $200,000 and it was gone in 17 months. And he still watches the garden like it was always enough. Maybe it was. Maybe the money was never the point. Maybe the point was always the garden and the window and the fact that someone is still coming to visit. The Honest Frog thinks about that sometimes. What you know now that you didn't know then. The system is not designed to protect people who work hard and save carefully. It is designed to extract from them, legally, systematically, and invisibly, until there is nothing left to extract. Then it helps. The people who escape this are not luckier. They are not more deserving. They simply knew the rules early enough to use them. And somebody told them. The Honest Frog exists because somebody should. No courses, no sponsorships, no newsletter asking for your email, no advisor commissions, no affiliate links, just a frog telling you the things your bank won't tell you, your government won't tell you, and the nursing home administrator with the laminated badge definitely won't tell you.
If this video made you pick up the phone and call your parents this week, that's enough. That's the whole point. Subscribe. It's free. Unlike everything else in this video.